Wel- Welcome, my dear students, for today's lecture on general characteristics of fungi. So, the objective of this particular presentation is to make you to understand the topics. The topics that are covered are the general characteristics, the occurrence, the thallus organization, the forms of the mycelia, the cell structure, nutrition, reproduction, and the classification of the fungi, where we will cover the only Ainsworth system 1971 system of the classification. We know the fungi is derived from a Latin word where fungo, where it is a diverse group of eukaryotic organisms, and Bessie classified the fungi as non achlorophyllous non-vascular plants whose reproductive and vegetative structures do not permit them to be assigned to position among recognized group of higher plants. The branch of botany dealing with fungi is called mycology, and the scientist concerned is known as the mycologist. Michel is known as Michele is known as the father of mycology, while E. J. Butler is known as the father of the Indian mycology. Regarding the occurrence, of fungi, it is cosmopolitan. They are found in air, water, soil, plants, and animals. They prefer warm and humid places. The thallus organization is called mycelium. It is an interwoven mass of the threads or the hyphae. The hyphae may be septate or aseptate. The thallus may be of two types, unicellular and the filamentous type. The cell structure is a typical eukaryotic cell where the cell wall is made up of chitin, and this chitin is the N-acetylglucosamine. Regarding the nutrition, fungi, as they lack the chlorophyll and cannot perform photosynthesis, they absorb the nutrients from the organic matter through extracellular digestion. If they absorb the nutrients from the dead organisms, we call it as the saprophytes. If they absorb the nutrients from the living organisms, they are called as the parasitic forms. Or predaceous fungi trap the nematode, we call it as the predaceous fungi. The fungi also show symbiotic associations where the two of the organisms are mutually benefited. In case of the association in the lichens, where the algae and the fungi give some of the minerals, and the algae produces the food and in turn return to the fungi. The mycorrhizal association, this is the association found in the with the higher plants, where the fungus get attached to that, and it may provide nutrients to the for the plant. And this kind of it can be ectomycorrhiza or endomycorrhiza types. So reproduction basically are of two types: asexual reproduction, vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction, and sexual reproduction. Vegetative reproduction by fragmentation, budding, and asexual spores, and asexual reproduction by means of conidius, sporangiospores, and blastospores. And sexual reproduction involves the fusion of the gametes of specialized hyphae, leading to the formation of the spores. So asexual reproduction, when you see, they are the fragmentation, budding, fission. Fragmentation means the biomechanical engineering by accident when the mycelia cuts down the single individual, the part develop into a new mycelia. Budding is a phenomena where the unicellular forms and enlarges first, and later it will develop a small bud where the nuclei moves and then the divide from the bud, and this new bud will develop into a new plant. Fission is a process where the Mother cell enlarges where the cytoplasmic and karyokinase division takes place and the divide cell fission. Sclerotia, these are the special pistol-like structures which helps in the on when they fall on the ground they develop the mycelia or the host they develop the mycelia. Rhizoma, these are the hair root-like structures. They are present on the host cell which may develop the a favorable condition develop the new mycelia. The asexual reproduction mostly by zoospores in case of the lower organisms, conidiospores in case of rhizopus, the basidiospores in Basidiomycetes, and the sporospores in case of the rhizopus or mucorales members, and the wodia where the mycelia fragments they form a special spore and they act as a spores and develop into what you call the later develop into also new plant. The sum of the mycelia swollen and then develop two covering layer structures which are favorable conditions develop into a this spores develop into a new mycelia. So sexual reproduction takes place by plasmogamy, karyogamy, and meiosis. The methods of sexual reproduction includes planogametic copulation, gametangial contact, and gametangial copulation. Plasmogamy is the fusion of the plasma, protoplasmic fusion. Karyogamy is the fusion of the nuclei, and the meiosis is the reduction of the divisions of the zygote. So these are the different methods of the sexual reproduction showing the gametangial contact, the gametangial contact, the planogametic copulation, and then what you call the gametangial copulation that is being taken place. And I representing the somatogamic type of which is found mostly in the higher plants, higher fungi. So now regarding the classification of the fungi, the fungi is basically classified for the practical application and also bear some relation to phylogenetic consideration. Most of the fungi are classified based on the taxonomic hierarchy, the spore production, medicinally important fungi based on the route of acquisition and based on the virulence. A more natural system of classification was proposed by Ainsworth in 1973 and has been accepted by many mycologists. So, according to 1973 Ainsworth system of classification, the, the kingdom, the fungi mycota is classified into two classes, Myxomycotina and Neumycota. Myxomycota are again classified into Acrocyaomycetes, Hydromycetes, and Myxomycetes and Plasmodiophoromycetes. For Eumycota are two fungi. They are classified into Masticomycotina, Zygomycotina, Ascomycotina, Basidiomycotina, and Deuteriomycotina. The Myxomycotina characteristic features: they are non-cellular plasmodial structures consisting of the four classes Ascomycetes, hydrocellular slime molds, Hydromyxomycetes are the next slime molds, Myxomycetes has two slime molds, and Plasmodiophorus has the parasitic slime molds. The Eumycota, which is also known as the true fungi, are subdivided into five subdivisions. They are Mastigomycotica, where the key features are the motile zoospores and aquatic fungi. Chytridiomycetes is formed. The Zygomycotina subdivision has non-motile sporangiophores. The mucor, bread mold, and rhizopus are the examples. The Ascomycotina has fruiting bodies, or which sac-like we call it as is ascospores. The penicillium, the mochella, morels are examples for this. Ascomyte, the Basidiomycotina, basidiospores on club-shaped basidia. They are found in the mushrooms, agaricus, and Puccinia, the rust. The Deuteriomycotina, the imperfect type fungi with asexual reproduction only by means of asexual means. The Aspergillus candida fungi, imperfect type, comes under this particular category. So the Mystigomycotina possess the motile spores. The The Zygomycotina, that is a zygospore forming fungi, cenocytic hyphae, sexual reproduction through zygospores. It has a class Zygomycetes and two orders Mycorrhizae and Enteromorphes. The subdivision Ascomycotina or the sac, which is also known as the sac fungi, produces ascospores inside an ascus. It has a large fungal group class. There is one class Ascomycetes and three orders Saccharomycetes, Euroteas, and Hypoceres. The subdivision 4, Basidiomycotina of Eumycota division, has class fungi. They are the spores, basidiospores produced on basidium. It includes mushroom and rust fungi, Puccinia. Basidiomycetes class has three orders, Agaricales, Eurydiales, and Astilaginales. The subdivision 5, Deuteriomycotina, which is also known as a fungi imperfecti, has no sexual stage, as include a pathogenic fungi, most and there is one class called Deuteriomycetes, which has two orders, Monolias and Spherocarpes. So these are the Ainsworth 1973 system of the classification, kingdom Mycota, and as division Eumycota. Then they have division Myxomycotina. The division Mycota has Ascomycetes, Basidiomycotina, Zygomycotina, Deuteromycotina, and Mastigomycotina. And you see that this division Myxomycetes has Myxomycetes and class Ascomycetes, where the Hyperomycetes and Plasmophoromycetes. The questions related to this lecture: what do you understand by fungi? Write a note on the general characters in the fungi. Give the classification of fungi as proposed by Ainsworth and discuss the various modes of reproduction of fungi in details. The references are being taken by online net and through a book Vashishta B.R. and Sinha A.K. Botany for the degree students. Thank you, students, for your patience listening, and wishing you hope you understand the particular aspect properly.